Hello, we are here in the new sewing room and I wanted to take you guys with me on a journey through fitting the Gertie Scout dress. This was a Patreon pattern from the Camp Gertie series, which was like 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago. It was a while. I've been a Gertie Patreon member since the beginning, pretty much off and on. And I have almost made no garments. And it's not that I don't like the styles, I love them all. She is my favorite designer from a design perspective. The problem is I'm always very intimidated by the designs because they tend to be woven and I'm scared that I cannot fit them. But I am committed this year to take on projects that scare me and try some of these Gertie designs. So, the Scout. I'm gonna show you guys my 3 test fits and explained what I did to them to get to the point I am now. So let me go ahead and throw on the first one so I can switch back and forth without any flashing. So these are not in completely finished states, just because I was using them to try things on. So I'm gonna just pen them together. So this is the closest I've ever gotten a Gertie pattern to fit. And this is why I decided the Scout was worth continuing on. So this is no modifications, just out the pack. This is the size 6, graded down to the size 4 in the waist. I used the size 6 armhole, and here's the cute little keyhole armhole, which I figured out would be a little tight. I have range of motion in the armhole, and I thought this looked pretty good. I then went to the Gertie group to get some help and advice and ideas on how to make it fit better if that was possible. And a couple people pointed out, and rightly so, that there was some extra fabric back here in the back. Now, the Scout dress is supposed to have 3 inches of ease, but I wasn't interested in that. So many people have made Scout dresses that are super fitted and beautiful. I wanted that for myself. So this is the 4A, which is technically sized down in the cuff, but I do think is the right fit. So let me show you guys the alteration I made next so we can assess the fit. This is again the size 6, graded 6A, graded down to the 4 at the waist. And this fabric is some cotton poly blend. I have like 8 yards of this because it was $1.99 at Michael's. So it's a great test fabric. I have done the sleeve and I ended up adding too much extra. Like I added an inch extra to the cuff, but as you can see, the sleeve will close now. So let me show this to you in the back. So this is my fit now in the back, which as you can see is pretty nice. It's a lot better than it was, but I feel like this armhole is really high. And I know a high armhole gives you mobility, but it's quite tight. I mean, it's really in there. And I also came to realize that as cute as this sleeve is, it's probably a little too much sleeve for me to wear this dress with cardigans. And the God's truth is, if I'm gonna wear this dress, it's either gonna be sleeveless with a cardigan, or it's going to be with a cardigan over this sleeve. And I was scared when I make it in regular fabric, it's not gonna crush down enough. So, this had a 1/2 inch narrow back adjustment. So I went into my pattern and I slashed it 2 inches into the shoulder all the way down, and then I put another slash right here from that 2-inch line to this notch, and I took out 1/2 inch from the top of the pattern. I think it really helped with the fit in the back. But again, I feel like this armhole, while I can have really good movement, it just feels a little too close. And I was worried that when I make it in a quilting cotton, which is one of my plans for summer, is a quilting cotton sleeveless version, that is going to be a real close armhole. So, take 3. So then I ended up with this version. Put my pin buttons in. So the difference I made in this version is I went back in and I added 3/8 of an inch to the length of the armhole. Sits a little lower, and I feel like that would be fine for a sleeveless, and full range of motion, but comfortable now. So this is the 6A graded down to the 4 with the back adjustment, which I like. And then finally, what I did with the sleeve, and I need to like, this is kind of an experiment sleeve, but I would just hem it and have this kind of fluttery cap sleeve. But all that is, here is the Gertie sleeve, which is gigantic. And this is where I did that 3/8 adjustment to add some height. So I ended up tracing off the sleeve to where the keyhole is and then just smoothing that over. So we take the keyhole out. And that is this pattern piece. So now it doesn't have the keyhole, but it still has the nice puff. And I feel like I could hem that under. I am gonna add like a little bit of seam allowance to this so I can hem it under and have this little puff sleeve, which I think I will wear year round, and I can easily get a cardigan over this. And yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm loving it. And I'm really excited to actually make something from the Patreon that I've been paying for literally years and not using. So I'll be right back to show you guys some further plans. That I need to figure out my skirt now, right? The skirt that comes with the Scout dress is gigantic and voluminous. It's a circle skirt with pleating. It's massive. And it means that the pattern takes like 5 or 6 yards of fabric, but I don't have a single cut of fabric that's that big. And really, I don't want a skirt that's that big. I'm only 5'3". I've got skinny little chicken legs, to be honest. I'm a very petite person. And so giant, big, floofy skirts, if they're too big, can make me look like a child wearing like other people's clothes. And I want to avoid that. So let me show you the fabric. I was thinking, this is a rayon challis in this olive green, purple, and sort of dark floral. I feel like it looks very fall, very winter, which is nice considering it's winter right now. And at the rate we're going, I think it'll be winter for a while. It's so cold. Anyway, so I was thinking I could use this. I have 3.5 yards of this, I think. So I definitely can't do the Scout dress skirt. So I have 2 options. I could borrow the Sew Over It Nicole skirt, which is a A-line skirt that has a few pleats at the waist. I know that skirt fits me. It already has a button placket drafted on it. And I could do a shorter one because it actually is it's like a T-length skirt, but I think I would shorten it to the knee. I know that would work and it would look great. But if I wanted a skirt that was a little bit more full, a little more poof, a little more 50s, I could do the picnic skirt from Gertie, which is a rectangle gathered skirt, and that would give me the option of a little bit more of that 50s silhouette. So I'm trying to decide which way I'm going. All right, let's get this cut out. little proud of our fabric management here. So I got the gathered skirt from the Nicole dress out of the remaining fabric. What is that? Anyway, so I got that out of it. There's the front. Already got the back over there. And this is all the fabric I have left, which is not much, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the pockets from this dress because I think it'd be rather spiffy to have pockets in this one. And these are just inseam pockets. Since the Scout dress, the Gertie version, comes with pockets, I thought I should still have pockets. And I'm gonna actually use my rotary cutter on this. I've been experimenting with cutting out garment pieces with the rotary cutter. Pretty much just use it for quilting. And I still find it vaguely terrifying to use. So I'm trying to make friends with it as best I can at the end. But there we go. I now have to do some interfacing and cut that out and get all my pieces interfaced, and I'll see you guys when I've done that. Hello, so I thought I would do a quick check-in and show you guys all the pieces, partially to make sure that I know I have all the pieces. So I have my puff sleeve that I need to mark my notches on. Actually, these notches are clipped, so they're fine. I have 2 of those. I have 4 of the pocket bags, and 2 of them have interfacing. So that is the pockets all cut out and ready. I have my skirt back. This should give me a right at the knee skirt with a little bit of gathering in the waist. I have my skirt front that has been interfaced where the button placket is. I think this is the top. Yeah, there we go. So there's 2 of those with interfaced button placket. I have 2 of my collar, and 1 is interfaced. So collar. I have my back cut on fold, so it's on the fold. I have my bodice front, cut 1, then cut 2, not on the fold. I have 2 of my facing, it has been interfaced, so I get some button stability. And then I have 1 neck facing, and that is cut 1, interfaced, and then I can show you guys. I think I'm gonna put a label on this, and I'll show you the label I'm gonna use. So, I got these Halloween labels on Etsy that I have yet to use, and I've got a few to choose from. I've got made by hand, and a little magic. This belongs to my costume collection. Kindly return in good condition. It's kind of fun, and it's got like little bats on it. Handmade with toil and trouble. It's really cute. So yeah, oh. You look fabulous, and I might use that one. So yeah. I'm gonna use one of these, and I'm probably just gonna put it, thinking I'll just put it into the little back facing, because you're gonna see that at the end. So maybe like that, we'll see. I also think I'm gonna go and try to order some buttons in the purple color that's in this, because I think purple buttons would be really pretty. So the next time I see you, I will be doing some sewing on the dress. Okay, so I need to stay stitch my necklines on my bodice front and back and sew my darts. So for the stay stitch, I'm gonna use a slightly bigger stitch length, a 3.5 on my machine. And I'm just going to stitch around the neckline, very tight to the seam allowance. This just makes sure that your neck does not stretch out. And then I need to do my dart. So I got the darts marked on the wrong side of the fabric with friction pen. It's hard to see. And then the friction pen, when you heat it up with the iron, it will release the color, and so the ink will disappear. So I've got 2 little notches in there, and then I've got my dart legs drawn in. And what I do to sew my dart is I start out at the 2.5 on my machine, which is just the regular stitch length. Sew along my dart, and then when I'm 1 finger away from the bottom line, I dial down my stitch length to like 1.2, like a really tiny stitch, and sew off the end. And what I found when I do this is that my dart doesn't come undone and I don't have to tie the little knots. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew that to all the other darts on the front and back, and also sew the back necklines stay stitching, and be back. Okay, so I have serged the shoulders on the front and back bodice, and I have sewed the front and back bodice together. I'm going to bust open those seams and then do the next step. So the next step is to sew together the facing, and I thought I would put this adorable little label on the back of my facing. So I'm going to just find the middle and put it as approximately in the middle as I can. And then just sew down both edges with kind of a longer stitch. So like a 3. And let's do that. I've never really put a label on a dress before, so hopefully it will not be too itchy. That's why I'm just kind of anchoring it, but not like super hard to take out, just in case I need to rip it out. All right, now we are gonna sew the facing piece to the other facing pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna baste on my collar. I have lined up the little dot on the bodice front that says collar point. I've lined up the center back of the collar and the dress, and I'm just gonna baste that in using a longer stitch at like the 3.0 on my machine. All right, so I've done that. So now I need to sew the facing to the whole neck and front line of the dress. So let me get that and then I will line that up. Hi, so I have put the facing on top of the sewn collar on top of the dress. So now it's the dress, the collar's underneath, and the facing is on top. And we're just going to sew all the way around from the bottom edge all the way to the other bottom edge. So now I'm just gonna go get it all clipped and ironed, but we have reached a stopping point. I like to do my buttonholes at this point before I sew my side seams on because I want a flat single layer for the buttonholes to be used. And I ordered buttons from Etsy in a purple color that hopefully matches the purple flowers, and I don't have them yet. So this might be our stopping point for a couple days. Hello, so I have basted together the skirt and the bodice of the dress, and I found out that the bodice, while it looked like it was the right length when it was by itself, as soon as you put a skirt on it, it got pulled down and it was about an inch too long. So I have taken an inch off the bodice, and now I am going to gather the skirt and attach the skirt to the bodice. So here is my bodice. I can show you guys what we're doing. And then here is the finished skirt with pockets. So I'm gonna match everything up. And then I've got these 2 rows of gathering stitches that I'm going to gather and sew that together. And that will actually be a finished dress. Let me get my clip. And we're finally here, the finished dress reveal. So I am wearing it today with the Ducket cardigan by Andy Satterlin in this Cascade 220 yarn. I think this is the color Mystic. It's like kind of a brown. I added these cute little pins, little owl pins. But I'll go ahead and I'm also wearing it with tights and boots because it's cold out. But I'll go ahead and take off the cardigan and you guys can see the finished dress. I'm really pleased with this. This is my most successful woven dress make I think I've ever made, to be honest with you. I absolutely love it. I like how the sleeves came out. They did fit under my cardigan, which was one of the concerns. I've made this little belt, which I think does a really nice job of kind of cinching in the waist. I think the fit on this dress is just perfect. I got these little buttons from Etsy. They're sort of a plum color, which I thought looked nice with the dress. And then I actually only have working buttonholes till right past the waist. So this button works and all these up here do, but the rest are just sewn down and then sewn through. It's got pockets. So anyway, all around, I think the Scout dress was an incredibly successful make. I am so glad I took the time to make this dress, to make sure it fit me. And I highly recommend it because this is not something I thought I could get to work for me, but I did. And I will definitely make another one of these because I feel heckin' cute. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe so you can keep track of my next project, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye!